How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf. Loaf, it's been a while. Yeah, I had completed this map, and I still have, but someone pointed out in the comments, and I did actually see it in my video, when I built the flare stacks, a van appears, and apparently it's the van that I was supposed to deliver to the railway station, which I didn't even know this game had a railway station either. Yeah, for whatever reason, it automatically said I'd done the mission and I've 100%ed it and whatnot. Turns out, yeah, up here is a railway station. Yeah, that's where my loaf's been sat. That's where I started the road from the other day and all that. So, for no particular reason, they just said in the comments, can you please just get the van to the railway station, just for them? So, it might be some kind of OCD. And to be fair, once they pointed it out, I was like, yeah, if I don't go and deliver the van now, I'll never forget it. I'll be 40 years from now and be like, God damn it, I never took that van. I'm blaming the crane, because as I was about to jump off, it wiggled, and I kind of looked over at it and sort of instinctively swerved at it. And then I flew off a bit sideways. There should have been, like, I know they've done it on purpose to make it more awkward, but this bit should have had a road or ramp going down. Yeah, so I went back quickly for a little run up, actually almost got itself doing a drift. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't like this van very much. I'm not too bothered that it gave me the mission without having to do this. Also noticed the flare stacks aren't on fire anymore. See, the crane moved again, but this time I ignored it. Jumped off. Probably would have killed me in real life, but we made it. Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to do on this video was test gearboxes, but then I quickly wanted to do this mission first because I saw him pointed it out. And yeah, I had to investigate. I believe they're called MHE 1970. So yeah, this one's for you, dude. And then also, while I was going along here, I noticed though that all my roads are now flooded again along here, which means the water must have glitched and gone back to being more flooded, because when you lay the roads, it won't pave the road unless it's above water. I had that very specific problem when I built the road. Yeah, and the fact that it's all paved now and good chunks of it are underwater, obviously some kind of glitch and it's reverted back. They really need to fix whatever it is to do with that whole thing, because it's across multiple maps. Heard it happen to loads of people. It seems to be, I don't know, probably about 80% likely that if you complete something in the game, if it's lift a bridge, drain some water, whatever, that the game will just revert back to how it was before. Yeah, seems about 80% of the time. One or two I've got away with that other people have said it, theirs has since flooded back up and all the rest of it, but that one's done it. When I got to the railway yard by now, by the way, I've got nowhere to deliver this vehicle because it says the mission's already done. So I just drove it there and then it managed to get stuck. Rescued it with a loaf. Yeah, I mean, long story short, not a big fan of the van. It's just not very good. There's no real way around it. Although I will say, this map is definitely, as I've been playing like on the DLC for a little while, goddamn professional, you can see how much more sort of trollish these maps are by comparison. So I got that done, and I was about to call it a day, that's why I was on the loaf. And then I also remembered that there's this red electric zone that I've not connected up. So before someone asks for me to do that, plus, yeah, at this point, it's kind of like, well, while I'm on here, I may as well get everything properly, fully done. It actually wasn't too bad. I fast forward through most of it, but just so it's there, it's done. If they ever do some kind of patch or whatever and realise they forgot to add the mission and they re-add it in, then in theory I've already done it now. Yeah, I was going to cut through the swamp, but then I realised even though, like, this big scoop thing at the back of this makes it a bit awkward to go through trees, but it looked like there was enough space between them that I'd just be just about able to squeeze through. Kill one tree. Sacrifices must be made. Oh, 2, 3, maybe more. Yeah, got that done though, so in the bag. Map officially 101% complete. Probably more actually. Yeah, everything's hooked up, van's delivered, even though I've got nowhere to take them. Yeah, again, get yourself a load because it's a goddamn horse. And then go back. Obviously, I was already at 100%, so that wasn't going to change anything, but at least it's done now. Well, I mean, the van didn't technically change anything, but in theory, the connecting up the electricity could have. So I started a new playthrough because I wanted to test out these like map modifiers. So you've got fuel. I wasn't too asked about clicking that, but then at the bottom it says additional refueling methods have been added. Check the shop and the construction zone. So I was like, oh, I will put that on then. But I've put it, yeah, fuel cost as easy, just so it's not ridiculous and draining it every 2 seconds. All the rest of it, I mean, convoy difficulty left off, fewer convoys, gearbox I put on. That was like the main thing I wanted to do. The quarry zone size. On trivial, it says quarry zones can be placed anywhere on the map, no restrictions. I'm not too sure what it means by that. If that means that it somehow unlocked the sand scalper, that it will just deploy everywhere no matter what, or I don't know. Because I can't place the sand quarries, they're just on the game. But regardless, I set everything basically to easy, trivial, whatever. Like, whatever just made it the cheapest and all the rest of it. So starting a new playthrough, I could have gone to the DLC maps, but I clicked on Precipice. I mean, to be fair, I've set the vehicles to, like, they cost nothing, so in theory I could go on Contamination and buy back all the, like, the main later game vehicles. But yeah, I just wanted to, like, say, try the gearbox out. Welcome to Roadcraft. Also, I do turn the, what do you call it, the tutorial off at some point, funnily enough. Like, way! Kelly's back. Been missing you, Kelly. And then about 10 seconds later it's like, oh my god, okay, don't need your life story. I'm just joking. It was, she was better in the game than now they've just randomly cut her out with no explanation or anything. Yeah, I'll admit though, I didn't really listen to what she said. She said things though, an attempt was made. Yeah, gearbox. Good news is, one, I was able to pretty quickly go into high gear. Ticking along now, it's roughly as fast as you're going to get up to in auto. And then I noticed it change the camera view, press R3 or hold R3. I was like, hang on a minute. I think I do remember doing this when I first played the game, but I kind of forgot that feature exists. Crashed into a wall. I think Kelly pops back up to explain some other stuff. Yeah, with the gearbox, I mean, it's nice. One major problem with it, I would say, and they've kind of painted themselves into a corner with it. You have to press left on the D-pad, but you're using your thumb to steer on the left analog stick. So to press left, you have to get off the steering. And here's like a prime example. I had to take my thumb off the steering to put it into high gear, and then by the time I got back, I didn't quite make the corner because, yeah, you have to let go of the steering, so it's kind of awkward. If it was like L1, for example, it'd be a hell of a lot better, but they've already used that in the game. In theory, they should probably juggle some things around potentially. They could either move like actions, which is L1, to like square or triangle, that are the diffs and that, and then move one of them over to like left on the D-pad, because they're not as urgent. Like if you have a manual gearbox, you're naturally going to be kind of using it here, there, and everywhere, and the fact that you have to let go of the steering to do it, yeah, is just a little bit sketchy. And then you've got to use your other analog stick to raise the, say, put it up into high gear, so it's not even like you can sort of borrow your right thumb and move it over to the steering for a second. It all just makes it a bit awkward. Yeah, going down that road, auto is about as fast, but the nice thing is it's not necessarily the top speed that I'm interested in, even though I am. But it just saves you, for the most part, faffing around with like going through all the low gears. You can pretty much, with some vehicles, I'm sure the slower ones are a bit more awkward, but you can basically just like set off, and a little bit like SnowRunner, after half a vehicle length or so, drop it in high and it boosts ahead. I noticed like it tries to insinuate that scanning the terrain there actually shows up like the water depths and all the rest of it, but it doesn't. It is basically counting that as like flooded bits of road. As soon as there was any deeper bits of water, it just didn't have the markers at all. And then now, I turned a bit wide. I was going to, that's what she said, I was going to go this way. As oh, you cock blocker. Brought up another menu when I was just about to set off and ram these gates. These gates were better in the original maps. You're able to bounce off them like that and kind of ricochet them open. Whereas, for some weird reason, in later maps, they never seem to work like that. For one, they always try and half close on their own and all sorts. But yeah, I don't know. It was a lot cleaner and smoother doing it that way. At this point, by the way, I just turned the tutorials off because I don't need them popping up all the time. For some reason, it's not only they have their own specific skip the tutorial menu in the start menu, But it's really seriously is like, are you sure? Because if you do, you'll never be able to put them back on. Which seems a bit dramatic. Yeah, so I unlocked this vehicle. Was going to try out the high gear and all the rest of it. Thought I was right now, but it turns out, because I go into sand flattening mode, which I kind of needed to get the bucket low enough, it automatically puts you into low gear, so that wasn't really doing much of anything anyway. And oh yeah, and I tried, like, obviously, even though it's a manual gearbox now, I can't get it out of low whilst I'm in sand flattening mode, which is a bit of a shame, because if you picked a manual gearbox... Once I was ticking along though, and I got back into marching mode, it went into high range pretty nicely, and this thing ticked along decently. Again, it's probably the speed you'll get up to in auto anyway, but at least you can get there a lot quicker, and it's more like this game faffs around a lot with the gears. In fact, this is quite a good example. I was driving along, I probably shouldn't have stopped on a hill, but I just quickly selected the mission because I had nothing selected at that point. And then, obviously now I'm testing, I wanted to see if I could push my luck, set off in auto. For one, it took a second or two to kick in, and I purposely tried to jump to high gear really quickly, and it didn't let me, and it kind of just ran out of juice. And then it started rolling back like crazy again. But then by the time I got to the top of the hill, I kind of let the speed build up a little bit. Jumped into high, and it still didn't have enough juice. I think because it's in auto, it's going through first gear, and then as it's trying to jump to second, it's just running out of juice. Pretty much as I'm putting it in high gear, but then you're in like a real low rev range, and it's just not happy about it. Yeah, I mean, got to here. This is, you know, the first map, precipice or whatever it is. Goes back.
The good news is you're in charge now.
Good.
Bad news is
Bend over.
storage and allocation of resources are all on you. So use them wisely, and remember,
Nope.
a penny saved.
I think I only did like 2 missions on this map, and I'm already 36% of the way through it. Awesome. It's a goddamn professional level of work.
We need to build a flood
It's some
wall
kind
for
of
it
pay
to-
rise in order, even though now I've set the vehicles to basically cost nothing, so money is a lot less
Plot a route.
useful in this mode, although there might be some fuel situation. I might have to buy fuel. I haven't got a construction zone unlocked to figure it out at the minute. Same with the quarry things. I didn't actually investigate them really on this map, but I don't think quarries even come into play on this first playthrough. Yeah, setting this off, this vehicle, it's the Mule Trailblazer thing, feels a lot better. Feels like it'd make a lot of use of the high gear. I purposely stopped now and then just to see if I could set off in the high gear. It wasn't having it. I was jiggling my wheels. I actually got it to roll forward, probably a good truck length or so, but it wouldn't. It was definitely thinking about it, but it just wouldn't quite pick up, so I had to go back to auto. And it's all pretty standard. If you're in high gear, you can't, even if you hold the reverse button, it won't reverse. You have to go back to auto. If you go down to reverse, you can reverse, but using the accelerator rather than having to go to the other button. I ended up driving down. This map hasn't got a crazy amount in the way of like off-roading and all the rest of it, but I drove sort of down to the south of the map, cut through this I don't know, flooded kind of factory place going on. I think I've got to get that generator from up there at some point. Hit that tree, still kept the power. One nice thing, if you're going quite quick and you've built the power and all the rest of it, if you hit something, it doesn't always just instantly kill your high gear. It'll basically start wheel spinning at that point, most of the time, which is nice, because that means for the most part, like, this game has a habit of you catch on something and, like, there's a perfect example. I just kept the throttle pinned in high and it built its speed back up and carried on. I think, yeah, when I went out here, hit some trees, and then they just got me stuck. By the time I killed the trees, I'd basically dug, like, 4 big holes in my tyres, so I wasn't really getting out there anyway. And then, yeah, a bit more wandering off. I was sort of trying to find ways and excuses to bounce around like that, to see if I do stub my chin, etc., how often it'll be annoying, because then it'll kick you out of high gear pretty much, and you got to manually go back to auto. And like I say, because you got to, it's only a little thing, but because you got to press left on the D-pad, not just L1 or something, it's a lot more faffy for your fingers. So, or if I wanted to change gear now whilst going around the corner, that obviously makes life difficult, because I've got to get my hand off the steering basically to do that. Bit of throttle feathering was going alright. I actually just let off the throttle as I went around there. Perfect timing, and that did pretty much instantly kill the high gear, even though I must have blipped it off the throttle for like a quarter of a second but it seemed to be that perfect quarter of a second that I hit them. Jumping off here though, as I land there, I kept it pinned and it wound back up to speed, and then jumping off here again, stubbed my chin, technically went backwards a little bit, but kept it pinned and it actually stayed like in the gear, which again is nice because at least it just doesn't kick you out every 2 minutes. So next I thought I'd bring this out because, I mean, there already, I only went like half a vehicle length or something, put it in high and it already zipped off. That's obviously on like a bit of a nice flat surface, but yeah, still not bad. At least it hasn't forced you to build up to like 3rd gear in auto before it'll even let you do it. But I'm sure if you're starting in boggy mud and all the rest of it, don't expect it to be so easy. So I came back down to here because again I was trying to find somewhere to stub this thing's chin. That's what I was saying. I know this map is purposely like a starter map, so it's meant to be easy anyway, but even though there is some deformable terrain, it's nowhere near as trollish as like those newer maps where you get bogged down in mud every 2 seconds. This map actually allowed you to sort of zip around a bit. Although I am also probably slight rose tinted glasses because this is Precipice, not Aftermath. Same maps, but there is other, like where I just drove through about 10 seconds ago, I think that's much boggier mud on Aftermath because then you've got to send like an AI route through there and stuff. Didn't even really get it to stub its chin the entire way through there, which is typical, although steering was like oversteering, understeering, hit that. So I ended up going back to like where I just came through with the Land Rover basically, just finding somewhere that this will stub its chin just to see what it'll actually do. And I think, yeah, it does there, and you see it stays in high gear and I just keep it pinned the entire time. And it kind of winds back up to speed. That mostly gets me out of all this water section. A little bit of hit in there, didn't really catch, but similar thing. And then I think somewhere along here it does the opposite though. I kind of catch my chin and then it runs out of juice, and that's it. It just kills all the power. You can keep it floored, you can hear it almost sort of revving, but there's absolutely no power going to the tyres. Unlike SnowRunner, that would normally do the stalling thing and you've kind of got a second or so to let off the throttle before it'll kill the engine and you've got to restart it. This doesn't in this game. It just, you can hear your revs, but it's like, you know, you're not in gear. But you see, then going back the other way through here, didn't even really catch my chin that bad. I was just kind of bouncing from side to side then, and then it just ran out of juice. So it's one of them where it's a little bit vehicle dependent and all the rest of it. Things like the Mule Trailblazer will benefit quite well from it. Obviously slower, more awkward vehicles, you're not going to get too much use out of it. Again, those gates are easier to smash open. This is how I'd swan dive into Kelly's pants. There's a jump there. So tested quite a few vehicles flying off there. Like, what do you mean flooded? I didn't do anything. Yeah, for no apparent reason. And then what was this? I was driving. Oh yeah, I was in high gear, went down to auto. Similar, you can see about the same speed, but instantly you could hear it decide to go through 2 or 3 gears. It was like, yep, fuck that, straight back to high gear. But again, jumping off here. Oh no, this was the one where there is still power going to the wheels, but I landed on my side. Tried to roll myself back. It was having none of it. And then recovered to here, decided to give it one more go, put it in high, a little bit too quick though, ran out of juice. Back to auto, get it built up, put it in high and we go, and then you can see a palm tree down there. I was thinking, right, I reckon I'll go and hit that. I thought there was like a 1 in a million chance of it happening. And then I absolutely nailed it. That was the one I was eyeballing as well. Pretty happy with myself at this point. Done. Get that crane a cigarette. And that's about it. There is, for those that don't know, there's like a little in case of zombie attack sign there. Apparently the company that makes this game also did some kind of zombie game. Yeah, I only did 2 missions. I think, like, cleared the area and found the forward base, 36%. Goddamn professional. It's like a new set of stats. Yeah, obviously I'm not going to do an entire playthrough again. It was just I wanted to go and test out the gearbox. I may be on the game again at some point, I don't know, but for now I think we're done. Loaferson. Yeah, hard mode, that's what she said. Yeah, that was about it really. Just did that van for the dude that was requesting it. Got the electric done and tested out the gearboxes. Yeah, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed, I hope it helps. Thanks for watching, get yourself a loaf, and I'll be back soon.